We're going to go ahead and treat this room for bed bugs. The room has already been prepared for guests, and it's essentially ready to rent out. But what we're going to do is go through the entire process so that you can see how it's done, and it's really quite simple. Now, we've got our sprayer, and we have a box, and this is for the things that we find in the drawers, so it's contained all in one place. And we have a vacuum, so we can vacuum the zones that are not normally cleaned in the normal course of maintenance in the facility. So let's go ahead and have at it. First of all, let's deal with the drawers and deal with the soft bedding. I'm going to go ahead and check my drawers, and I'm going to be looking for items inside of them. I'm going to be taking those out, and that's as he's going around and dealing with that bedding. Okay, I've got all of my drawers empty. I'm just going to set this box over in the bathroom for right now. The next thing I have to do is get rid of these drawers. And the catches in each set of drawer are going to be a little bit different, so you may spend a little bit of extra time here until you get used to the way the drawers are fastened in. I want to get all of my appliances and such off the end table so that they're out of the way, and there's no possibility of knocking them over and damaging them. Got another set over here. Let's go ahead and move this little bureau out of the way so we can manipulate that bed to one side. And we just tip the mattress up against the wall. That piece of fabric will be laundered. There's separate box springs on here. It's a two-piece system. Okay, they're individually bagged. Now this is a zone that's not normally vacuumed. So what we want to do is get this area properly vacuumed so we can do the service. Once we take off the bedding and everything else, we have to examine the mattress covers that are in place. And we have a problem here with one of the box spring covers. And it's been torn through use, possibly against the frame. But this cover is now invalidated and is going to have to be replaced. And then once it's in normal course of events, we would go ahead and remove this cover. This zone is going to be treated, and then the cover is going to be replaced. We want to treat the underside, the sides, and the back of all the drawers that are in the furniture. And we're going to go ahead and put these in the zone where the bed was in order to take care of that task. Our sprayer has already been prepared. The material is mixed. You want to make sure you keep it agitated, and the agitation process should take place periodically during the spraying. And we want to make a pass one time across the base, and the sides, and the back. We have it. That takes care of the drawers. We're going to go ahead and let those dry, and it just takes a few moments, and then we'll get them put back in the cabinets. For the cabinets, what I like to do is go ahead and get the back side, so we've got some protection there. We want to get the inside of the cabinet. That includes the lid, the top, and we can also make a pass on the underside. That's it. That's all that's required to take care of this particular unit. And we'll repeat it for the other one. So we're going to get the back. We're going to get the inside. And we're going to get the underside. Essentially what we're doing is making a single pass per zone, because that single pass puts out more than enough particulate to ambush and take care of the bed bug issue. Now we can go ahead and begin to reassemble our furniture. We've taken care of spraying inside of all the furniture. We've done the sides, the bottom, and the backs of all the drawers. We've put them back. We're now going to get those zones taken care of out of the way. We're going to move our 2 nightstands to give us some working room. Now, we begin the assault on the bedding, the mattresses, and the box spring. We've already done our examination to determine if we have any holes or penetrations. What we have to do now is put a layer of Cimi on all sides of this mattress. Once again, the sprayer's been prepared, and it's a very simple process of simply starting and doing a spray pattern that covers the entire bottom side of the mattress. We can get the 2 ends like that, and we can even get across the top and taking care of that area. Now we have to shift this in order to get the other side. And when you've got 2 men on a job, the easiest way to do this is just go ahead and jockey it out from the wall a little bit, have one man hold it, and the other fellow can go ahead and hit the other side. And we'll go ahead, we've already got coats to that end. We'll get that coated here. And we're simply laying down a barrier of those little pieces of particulate, so if any insect gets on this surface, he's going to run into it. The last thing we have to do is get the bottom side of that mattress and set it up like that. Everything's pretty well covered, and I'll just make a pass right along there. That takes care of that. Now this particular case, that was that damaged unit, this cover would be removed and we'd be spraying inside of it. That takes care of the box spring. Now, for this purpose, assume we've replaced this cover because it had the hole. So we want to get the sides, top, down the other side, get the bottom painted properly. We've now coated the mattress and the 2 box springs in this case with enough material to be lethal to bed bugs. We've gone ahead and moved the box springs and the mattresses out of the way, as well of course as the furniture, and this gives us a clear shot at this floor area underneath, but we also have to be concerned with the headboard. Now what you're going to run into is headboards that can't be easily removed. Well, here's the workaround for that. Just go ahead and spray a band of material across the top, down the sides, and on the bottom. And that's a good workaround for this zone. You also have this picture frame here. You would make a band around the picture frame as well. As far as these floor areas are concerned, remember to keep that sprayer agitated. Just spray in the zones where the furniture was, and you can see the outlines on the floor. I'll shift here. I'll do this zone. I've got that protected. I've got a little bit of a carpet pull away here, so just in case, I'll shoot across there real quick. Now I'm going to fan spray the area where the bed was sitting. And that takes a single pass with the material to cover that entire zone. Done. We're going to go ahead and let the bedding dry so it's easier to handle. In the meantime, we're going to be taking care of 3 upholstered chairs that are in the room. Remember, this is a fabric, and this material adheres well to fabric. So we're going to go ahead and we can spray our upholstered chair. And we want to cover all sides of the object as completely as possible. And we also want to get the underside where the dust shield is. That piece of furniture is now protected. With the upholstered chair, as you can see, he's removed the cushion. So we want to go ahead and treat these zones, spraying the material in, keeping in mind this is a barrier that we're creating, and we can get all sides of this piece of furniture. Make sure no matter where the insects try and harbor, we're going to be able to deal with them. Get the back, across the top, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip it and get the dust shield on the underside. And let's not forget to get the cushion. And we can just set that offset. Make sure that we cover it completely. And that piece of furniture has been completed. Okay, we have one more chair. We'll go ahead and get that. The same fashion as the others. And remember that this material is not going to stain this chair. And of course, as with the other ones, I want to get that dust shield on the bottom side. I've got this hard desk here, and I'm simply going to go ahead and make a pass underneath to be sure that that entire surface is covered, and we put out enough material. Should something get in that area, we're going to take care of them as well. We're now under 30 minutes. We have disassembled the bed. That area has been protected underneath, the round, behind, and on top of. We've taken care of the floor surface underneath of the bed and those 2 pieces of furniture next to it. We have addressed the area around the baseboard. The area around this picture, we have addressed all of our cabinetry and drawers, and we have protected the stuffed furniture in the room. Now we're going to go ahead and start doing some reassembly so we can get a little bit more working room and finish this job up. Slide that into place. As you can see, we have now put the bedding zone back together, chairs in place. So what we're going to do here is just kind of continue with our perimeter work, because we did the baseboard, perimeter, and carpet zones in that area already. And what I mean by that is simply this. We're going to go ahead with our setting on fan spray, and we're just going to come along and walk our way around the room and handle this perimeter. Okay, we're continuing around the perimeter, and important point here, go across that door zone, because these insects are known to try and crawl from room to room. Now they're going to run into a barrier of material. And keep in mind, I'm doing this with a single pass. When you have an armoire like this, you have to get down to your hands and knees sometimes. And you have to get up underneath, and as long as you're there, turn the spray wand up and get the bottom of the armoire unit as well. So along with the baseboard zone, you've handled that carpet zone as well. And that handles our perimeter. Always good to hit on top of things. We've checked this area before, it's empty, but we're going to make sure we make a pass into these boxed tops on this unit, because something could crawl up there, but now if they do it, they're not crawling back down. These units are critical for bedbug issues, and a lot of that has to do with things that can happen underneath the edges of the straps. And this is a typical unit that you're going to find in most hotels. And what we do is we back those straps up like this. And now you spray across that on both sides, because the most common hiding area is that relaxed zone. And then you can make a pass across the unit, because the most critical parts are going to be that fabric. And while it's still stretched taut, you might want to flip the unit over. Thank you. And we'll do the bottom side, and we've got it. All right, we're going to go ahead and treat around these pictures, because in this particular case they cannot be easily removed, but we still want to add some other measure of protection to these zones. We have another picture over in this area. We're going to have to handle it in the same fashion, because we work within the parameters that we're given. The last thing we have to handle now are the drapes. We've gone ahead and moved this chair that was sitting here. We moved the desk out a little bit because we need to adjust the drapes. And the first thing we're going to do is take care of the shears. Now, this material won't stain anything unless water will. We've test sprayed this area. There hasn't been a problem with it. So what I want to do is a light mist. And I want to come up a little bit on the side, and then I want to go across the base. And what I'm really trying to achieve here is about 12 inches off of the floor. I'll take this, and then of course I want to see if I can get that edge there. And that will be sufficient, because if insects try and climb in that zone, we're going to intercept them. And keeping in mind that the carpeting and the border zones underneath that this are touching, that's already been taken care of. We did that when we did the pass around the room. So now we just have to complete the other shear. Pull it out, give it a shot, come across the bottom, get that zone taken care of, a little bit up on the side. Once again, that's leaning back against the treated surface already. Now we have to address the large drapes. I'm going to come down the side a little bit. I'm going to go across the base about 12 inches up. Grab that. And down this way. And fill in that piece. And that'll take care of it. These are vinyl backed, so not really all that critical to do the back side. And keep in mind, they're also bearing against another treated surface. Now the valences sometimes can be removed. We'll treat this in place, and this is pretty easy. We just come across that valence and treat it. And that'll take care of the drapery area.
Okay, so
And that's under 40 minutes for the whole room.
Okay. We have two things left to do. we have to wipe off the dry residue. Remember I told you it dries to a white hazy powder. And that's very simple. You just take a towel and simply wipe those zones off. And that's not affecting any real treatment at all, because the product that's going to be effective is in the cracks, crevices, and in the fibers. So that's really all you need to do here. You also have to pay attention if you've gotten some in any glass, just a simple wipe, and that will be taken care of. We're just about finished. What I want to do now is just back out and put a mist on the carpeted zones in the open areas before I leave. Keeping in mind most of the perimeters are already done. We don't have an issue with those. But I know my open spaces are not fully covered, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a simple pass over these traffic areas. These are areas people may set their luggage. I want to make sure they're protected. And I'm backing my way out of the room. And the job is now complete.
clock, Jordan.